There are adults that go to Coachella, and then there are adults that go to a screening of a 30-year-old film. With Tom Cruise in the news lately with his next upcoming role, Jerry Maguire returning to theaters last week, and now Top Gun will be re-released for its 40th anniversary. I guess you can say Tom Cruise might be having his best year ever. I've been a fan of Tom Cruise since 2004, and in the last 2 years, I've just been rewatching my favorite films of his. Last week, he attended CinemaCon in Las Vegas, and can I just say, I'm just a girl. Because did you see how he was looking? Sharp black suit. He looked like he got a tan over the weekend. He is only 63 years old, but he's still handsome. Tom was there to promote his upcoming role in the movie Digger. This is directed by Alejandro Inarritu. You may have seen his films like Babel and Birdman. In October, this new film is coming out. They released a teaser trailer at CinemaCon, but only for the attendees. But from what we know, Tom plays an oil tycoon, billionaire with gray hair, receding, cat-loving, thick southern accent. You got me. You got me. Something about this role, the way they're promoting it, it just feels like it is Tom's role of a lifetime. I'm just getting Oscar bells. I haven't seen a single clip. They've been mysterious about the rollout, and I just have a feeling we may see Tom's fourth nomination for the Academy Awards. And if that's the case, that would be very exciting because it's been more than 25 years since his last nomination, which was for Magnolia in 1999. I have a feeling this film is going to be incredible. The people that have attended CinemaCon, they seem to, their reaction toward this trailer, they seem to be really invested. And with that said, I had mentioned that I had seen Jerry Maguire in the theaters last week. I don't think a lot of people knew about this rollout because who is gonna go watch a film that is 30 years old? There was only 3 people in the theater, including me, and I was the lone female, which is hilarious. I arrived first because, I wanted to just indulge in the moment, get my refreshments, sit in the theater, and they actually played new trailers. And then the movie starts. I've seen this plenty of times on cable. Obviously, I remember when this film was first coming out. It was directed by Cameron Crowe, and this was with Tom and Cameron. It was their first collaboration together. The next one was Vanilla Sky. I'll get back to that movie in a second. Jerry Maguire, it was just so lovely to watch it. Seeing a movie from the 90s in 2026, but just something about it was just so endearing. And it doesn't surprise me that theaters are bringing back old movies for their anniversaries and all that. The other day, I happened to catch Ferris Bueller in the listings at one of my theaters. I think that's more appealing than doom scrolling on Netflix, to be honest with you. So Jerry Maguire, it was lovely. Renee Zellweger, Cuba Gooding Jr., Jonathan Lipnicki. People forget that he's in this movie. It was iconic when it first came out. Like, who was this kid? He was so cute. And when you watch little Jonathan Lipnicki in the big screen, I don't know. I just thought it was so endearing. And this is a film, if you haven't seen it, Tom plays a sports agent and kind of has like a life crisis about his job. What is the meaning of this? He gets fired, tries to, develop a new line of work. It's a man who fails and tries, and I like that because it's one of those few roles where Tom plays like a regular person. He's not out here chasing airplanes, but I just love when he plays those personal dramatic roles. And I had touched on Vanilla Sky, which is also directed by Cameron Crowe. And for years I've been saying, I want Tom and Cameron to, reunite, because when they get together, their work is so good. Given that I had just seen Vanilla Sky, I'm like, you know what? Let's just leave it at that, because this film is too perfect. Who knows if they would ever reunite. If you like Jerry Maguire, you must watch Vanilla Sky. And as I was seeing it, I'm like, why wasn't Tom nominated for an Oscar here? I think he's just like too much competition that they leave him out. Again, he could have been nominated for Eyes Wide Shut for the Academy Awards, but that didn't happen. And then 2 years later, Vanilla Sky comes out. I feel like he could have won it, but I'll give it to Denzel Washington for Training Day. You have to see Born on the 4th of July, which was the first role he was nominated for. He was like in his late 20s, and it's so courageous because he plays Vietnam War veteran by the name of Ron Kovic. He got paralyzed in a war. He comes home disillusioned, obviously immobile, and his life has completely changed. And Tom's performance is very striking, especially for a first-time nominee. And then we have Jerry Maguire as a second, and then Magnolia. Fourth is going to be Digger, in my opinion. Place your bets now. Yes, I rewatch Eyes Wide Shut. Yes, I may have seen Cocktail for the first time, but don't hate me. And I realized something as I was doing some research regarding his career. When Jerry Maguire came out, it was the 5th consecutive film of his to make over $100 million in the box office. From what I read, it was A Few Good Men, The Firm, Mission Impossible, Jerry Maguire, and did I miss out another film? But to have those records, especially in the 90s, that was gargantuan, juggernaut. And I know there are other actors of that era like Will Smith, that were also big at the box office. And it made me realize we don't have that anymore. And that's why I say Tom is the last real movie star, because he still brings in the bread. He brings in the money for movie theaters. And just made me realize that, all the young actors of today, they just don't have that same appeal. You don't see Timothy Chalamet making movies that, make over $100 million. You know what I mean? The records that Tom himself has done, the actors of today can't get anywhere near that. And besides, no one is just as interesting, charismatic, good looking, kind as Tom Cruise. And he beats them by, many years, generations. I'm not excited to see Marty Supreme. I don't want to see Timothy Chalamet playing ping pong in the 20th century. What? No. Doing my research, I forget the star power, the moneymaker that Tom Cruise is, because no one is breaking box office records in 2026. Especially when we live in a time of streaming and there are so many services. Hollywood movies, they become available at home at your favorite streaming service 2 months after the fact when it's been released in the theater. So what is the point of spending an expensive ass ticket plus, the concessions? Why? When it's going to be available on Fandango anytime soon. But with Tom Cruise, I refuse to, if there's an exciting new film with Digger coming out, I'm gonna catch that ASAP. And a lot of people are gonna probably try to catch it ASAP. So yeah, I've covered my bases on Tom. I just was too excited to not talk about him. I needed to get this out of my system until October when this new film comes out. Those are my highlights. Thank you for watching.